Stay tuned for Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host JC, and today we get to take the mystery out of the BARRA 1100z Generation 2, and as a special treat, I topped this off with the newest Discoveryopt scope, which is absolutely incredible, but we're going to cover all of that. But before we get started here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down there in the corner. It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free, but it really does help support the channel. Speaking of support the channel, check it out, www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I've got various t-shirts. I got the Generation 2 bipods. We've got hats. The Gammo trigger kits. Those of you who have the Gammo brake barrels that have the SAT or a CAT trigger. I've got a trigger screw kit that will turn those triggers into a matte style trigger. And honestly, probably about equivalent to the cost of a cup of coffee nowadays. It really is. Also check out my inventory, because I do throw on some occasional stuff I like to recycle, so I can bring you guys new stuff just like what I'm showing you here today. All right, let's get back to the subject on hand. We'll get to the scope in a minute, but let's talk about the BARRA 1100z Generation 2. I did a full review on the Generation 1 a while ago. I'll leave you guys a link below, but this is now the Generation 2. And so what is different in the Generation 2? Well, we'll cover that. First off, this comes in 22 and 25 caliber now. It no longer comes in .177. Okay, so the Gen 2 just has 22 and 25 caliber. It comes in two stocks. It comes in a black version, and then it comes in this trick camo version. Also, they bumped this up. It is now a 3,500 PSI fill. It used to be a 3,000 PSI fill in the Generation model, but this one is a 35 PSI fill. And part of that has to do with the fact that it's a little bit longer tube now. They want to create a little bit more pressure, so you're going to get a little bit more power. It's still roughly 130 cc air capacity, so it's not very large. So those of you that still like to use a hand pump, this is right down your alley. Me, I'm way too old for that. It's got to be electric pump or scuba tanks or something of that sort. Anyway, the big change on this is the fact that it is now regulated. And this is regulated somewhere around 1600 PSI from the factory. So what you actually have your tank pressure here on the front of the gun, as you can see that. And then we have the regulated pressure on the bottom here. So that's now displayed on the bottom, which is great. They also bumped up the barrel length. The barrel went from 19 inches to now 22 inches. So you got a little bit longer barrel. But you still have the 1/2x20 thread. So if you want to make this really backyard friendly, you can grab one of Terry's suppressors at Buck Rail, and that'll go right on there. So it's got the 1/2x20, which is nice. Also, they changed, this did have a Foster fitting. It now went to a fill probe. We'll actually fill the gun with now, so it does have a fill probe. They also improved the cocking arm on this. If you'll notice, it's a nice gnarled finish on this. Just like before, you can still decock it. Just pull it back, put a little pressure, let the handle slide forward. But the tolerances are real tight on this cocking arm right now, so it's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's got that nice knurled finish on there, which is great. So they also increased the breech on this. The breech is a little bit larger than the previous model. It's all metal. You've got your Picatinny scope rail, which we have our beautiful Discovery scope, and I'll talk about this here in a second. The hammer spring in this, also because it's now a nice regulated system, they went to a lighter hammer spring, so it's much smoother. The whole operation is much smoother. The gun itself, without the scope, weighs 7.5 pounds, and it's roughly about 42 inches overall. And again, I'll mention they did increase the barrel size on this, our length. This went to a 22-inch barrel. And by the way, if I didn't mention, this is the first time they're introducing the 25 caliber too. Because the previous model, as I said before, was in 177 and 22. Well, Generation 2 is in 22 and 25. But let's talk about the scope that we have on this. Oh wait, one other thing before. This also does still have the Picatinny rail, so you can put the bipods on this. This does not come with the bipods. Obviously, I set that up on there. But let's talk just for a minute about the Discovery scope. You guys saw, if you haven't, check out my SHOT Show edition where I went and visited the booth, because coincidentally they happened to be at the SHOT Show. That was the first time. So anyway, I got to meet some of the people there and we went over some of the scopes. Guys, I am a huge fan of this Discoveryopt because I've never seen just this quality of scope at this low a price point. It's just unbelievable. So this is their new one. This is the ED PRS Generation 2. This is a 5 by 25 by 56, and it has a 34 millimeter tube. That's a big tube. So you're going to get a lot of field of view with that. And here's the best part of these, guys. These have a lifetime warranty. Yes, they're going to warranty this for life. So you got to like that. So this particular one has a Christmas tree lit reticle, which is one of my favorites. It's the first focal plane, so that means the reticle will actually increase in size as you increase the magnification. This has zero stop adjustments, these nice big turrets that you can just adjust and lock in. And then it's got a side focus on it. So terrific, terrific, terrific optics so far. But we're going to take this one out because this is brand new. We're going to take this one out and test it. And this is also their own scope rings too. And they do a lifetime warranty on all of that, which is great. Oh, and by the way, so I did befriend these guys, and I do have a discount code for you. I can save you 10% on these, and I will put that in the link below, but I'll remind you that at the end. So anyway, so we've got this beautiful BARRA rifle, our Generation 2, matched up with this Discovery scope. So we're going to really be able to go out and test this thing. Oh, and by the way, this does come with 2 magazines. And I like these magazines because you just load them, you rotate them and load them. There's no putting in a pellet backwards, nothing like that. You just load them, rotate, load, rotate, and you can top them off. So if you shot like 2 shots, you want to pull it out, you want to top it off, they're really easy to do that. It also comes with a single shot tray and some wrenches. Anyway, had to cover that. Well, anyway, let's go out and let's go test the performance of the gun and the scope. And then when we're all done, we'll come back and talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, let's test our 1100Z, our Generation 2 here over the Crony. Now, the great thing about the Generation 2, it's regulated. I covered that in the beginning. Anyway, I checked. This is set at right around 1600 PSI. And we've got roughly around that 3600 PSI fill. So let's shoot 5 shots, and we'll just see what type of velocity we get and what type of foot-pounds of energy. Okay? Oh, what we're going to be shooting, guys, the JTS dead centers. I tried quite a few different pellets in this rifle. Not very pellet picky, but these by far did the best. So these are the JTS dead centers. And these are 25.39 grain. So again, let's shoot 5 shots over the Crony, see how we average out. All right, shot number 1. 847. Shot number 2. 844. Shot number 3. 846. Shot number 4. 844. And one more shot. 846. Wow, that is some consistent velocity there. It's low standard deviation, which is great. That's what you want at a regulated rifle. Not too shabby. We're getting over 40 foot-pounds of energy as well. Yes, and you guys are going to see this operate. This is one of Discovery's newest. I covered that in the beginning. So can't wait to show you anyway on the range. Let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. Okay, let's test our BARRA 1100Z Gen 2 here for some accuracy. And you guys can see this thing is topped off with this monstrous, insane Discoveryopt scope. This is a 5 by 25 by 56. I covered this, I know, in the beginning, but I just wanted to kind of reiterate it. Amazing glass. And for this, we've got ourselves set up. I found a way to get us a little greater distance. We got almost 48 yards out of our current position. Go ahead, check that out real quick. You can check out the distance. Yeah, it took a little work to get this thing set up, but we did it. All right, we're going to be shooting these small 4-inch splatterburst targets. You guys know I love the impact on them. I'll leave you guys a link down below. We're also going to be shooting the JTS dead centers. These are the 25.39 grain pellet. They did absolutely the best in this. I tried slugs in it. Slugs were okay, but these just absolutely destroyed it as far as accuracy. So again, we're almost 48 yards back, so let's see how well we can group here. All right. Oh, the sight picture and the glass on this is just unbelievable. All right, I gotta concentrate here, hold on. Wow. That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. And five. Wow. Yeah, at least we got rid of all the red in the center of that target. What a group. This thing, what a performer. I'm telling you, I am so surprised at the performance of this rifle. I really am. It's just overall, between the trigger, the accuracy, and then how can you not miss? I mean, this is, with this scope, I'm telling you, it puts you right on top of the target. It's absolutely amazing. But we'll talk a little bit more about this at the end, but absolutely thrilled. This entire setup is just amazing. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's do a pull weight test as far as the trigger goes on our 1100Z, our Gen 2 here. I know the first generation had a great trigger, and I have no doubt this one's every bit as good. So, got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge. Get it reset here. All right. Yeah, so a pound and a half, you cannot beat that. And fully adjustable, you want it a little lighter, you can make it a little lighter. You want it heavier, you can do that as well. But PCP rifles, that's what you want. You want a nice, light, crisp trigger. Whether you're target shooting or you're hunting, but you have the versatility to adjust that. So there you go. Let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's do some plinking with our BARRA 1100z Generation 2. This is my favorite part because we get to knock things over. You can kind of feel the power of these rifles. This is no disappointment for sure. And then when you top it with Discovery's new scope, this scope is amazing. I'm telling you. We're going to go ahead and obviously we're using this terrific optic, so, and this rifle's pretty accurate, so we're going to put some small stuff up there. I'll show you that in just one second, but we're going to go ahead and use our JTS, our 25.39 grain pellets. And like I said, this thing slings these things, and we're getting, you know, 40 plus foot-pounds of energy, which is crazy. Anyway, check this out. We're roughly 40, 42 yards. Actually, it's closer to 42. But I rounded around 40. Check that out, and as you guys can see, I redid my outside range. I put up new wood backstops, painted some of the targets, just kind of cleaned it up. It was time. The other backstop was getting really chewed up. So anyway, what we've got up there, we've got a large ram. We've got 2 little shotgun shells. We got some eggs and a little chicken. And we're going to try to take all of those out. We got a 9-shot magazine. I think we got 8 targets. Let's see how well we do. This rifle, I'm telling you, with this scope combo, is unbelievable. Let's start with the hard stuff. This scope is so precise, I'm telling you, it zooms in so much, you could knock the primer out of a shotgun at 40 plus yards. You really could. All right. The key is if I can do my job here and try to be steady. All right. That is a dismiss. Let's take the shotgun shell out all the way at the other side now. Man, this thing hits hard. I am telling you. All right, now we're going to start on the left side. We're just going to work our way to the right side. And let's see what we can do here. All right. You guys hear that thing hit? It's just nuts. Telling you, this thing is unbelievable. Okay, I got one shot left. Should we take the ram down? That's just too easy. Or should we try to knock this egg off the shell? I say we try to knock the egg off the shell. It's a much harder shot. Success. And that was 9 shots. No, we got one left. I guess that was short. We got one more. Take the ram out here. Oh, this is good. Oh yeah, dismissed. The power of this thing is just absolutely awesome. Then you have the combination of the nice trigger and this Discovery scope. I'm telling you, this is one of the very best optics I've ever looked through. This thing is just terrific. These guys do not disappoint, and their products just keep getting better and better. They really do. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. We'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. Man, this 1100Z, what'd you guys think of this Gen 2? Whoa, what a difference. Man, what an outstanding performance. And let's get into all the good stuff. But before I do that, let's talk about the negatives. I only have one negative. Now, I realize there's reasons for it. So they increased the air capacity with a longer tube here. And when they did that, they had to go to a fill probe. I'm just not a big fan of the fill probes. I prefer Foster fitting, but I can understand because it would have stuck it way too far out at the end. So anyway, that's all I've got. That's my only complaint. So let's get right into the positive stuff, all right? The stocks, I'm gonna start right out with the stock. I love these stocks. They are really, really solid. I mean, we're talking weapons grade polymer. These synthetic stocks are fantastic. And this comes in both. I really like this camo design. This is my favorite. But if you want plain black, that's your option too. Touch of class, they added the Picatinny rail on the bottom so you could set it up with bipods right away, which is great. They also used the Picatinny scope mount, all metal. The whole thing is metal, which is fantastic. I like the fact they gave us 2 magazines. It's always nice to have 2 magazines, and I like these magazines. Are the ones that are really easy to load, and it's a simple rotation, and they make it really simple if you just want to top them off, which is great in your shooting process. Another thing, the trigger. I thought the trigger is fantastic. And again, I covered this, the same trigger it was in the Generation 1s. They have a nice little pivot point on this trigger. So it actually acts like a first stage, and it makes a big difference. But you saw this trigger broke at 1.5 pounds. You can't ask for much more than that. I mean, seriously, 1.5 pounds, that's fantastic. Other thing I like is the fact they still give you the ability, the 1/2x20. So if you want to get a suppressor from our buddy Terry at Buck Rail to go on this, they make it real simple, and they'll make it really backyard friendly. And Terry's making some really cool stuff now. He really is. So check that out. I'll leave you guys a link below for that as well. But the accuracy on this thing, I talked about it briefly. The accuracy on this was amazing. I mean, we got 3/8 of an inch group at just under 50 yards. Think about it. That's the performance on that. And maybe it has to do with the extra, the 22-inch barrel, because they went from 19 to 22. So that kind of adds a little, gives a little bit more accuracy as far as that goes. I love the fact this thing is now regulated, because we got a steady shot group. In fact, let's just look at the chart real quick, because I charted this out for you. All right, this gun, the regulator set out of the factory is somewhere between that 1500, 1600 PSI right there. So starting with a full 3500 PSI, we were on the regulator. In other words, we had regulated shots for 27 shots. They were on the regulator. And out of those 27 shots, we averaged 846 feet per second, and we got 40 foot-pounds of energy. And this is like out of a 130cc tank. So that is pretty impressive. It really is. And then you saw, it starts to fall off the regulator really fast after that. But the great thing about this it doesn't have an overwhelmingly large air capacity. So that means those of you guys that like to do the hand pump, this is still right in that category. You can pump that up with your hand pump. Think about it. If you're going to go off hunting with this thing, you're going to get a full 3 magazines out of this thing. That is plenty for hunting. Full 3 magazines. And not that much to charge this thing up or to fill it up. But wow, just the overall performance of this is just, I'm telling you, it's amazing. And you start thinking about the price point of this gun. This gun's roughly between $275 and $300 depending on the finish you choose. The camo finish is a little bit more expensive. But this is a lot of gun for that. I mean, you've got the raised cheek rest. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning, but it's just, you can really customize it, and this gun just feels so good when you're shooting it in the hand. It really does. All right, now let's talk a minute about what we topped this off with. This is the Discoveryopt's newest scope, one of their newest scope. This is the ED PRS Generation 2. Okay, this is the FFP-Z. You guys saw this. I'm becoming so much more familiar with this brand now because they're just growing like no other. But it was great that I got to run into them at the SHOT Show. Check that video out too, the Discoveryopt at the SHOT Show. It'll kind of give you some inside. We talked to one of their experts and what have you, and they kind of go over the specific details of these scopes. But they are amazing. I still can't get over the clear glass on these and the eye relief. They're just so easy to use. I love the Christmas tree reticle. It's a first focal plane. Again, the reticle increases in size as you increase the power on this. And this is a lot, 5 by 25. Think about it. You literally, this is a type of scope you're going to be shooting all day long 100 yards. You really are. And we shot it at just under 50. And it's like, I'm telling you, at 50 yards, you can punch the primers out of a shotgun shell. You really could. So this is a type of performance, this scope, this is the type of performance you would expect over well over $1,000 scopes. And the price point on this is right around $350. And remember, I told you I befriended these guys at the SHOT Show, and they hooked me up. I worked on them. They hooked me up for a coupon for 10% off. I'm going to leave that for you guys. I'll have a link for you, and if you want to get an extra 10% off. But here's the best part. Where are you going to find a scope that has this type of performance that has a lifetime warranty? You're not. You're just not going to do it. I mean, I just can't say enough good things about it. I really can't. So, and they deserve credit. I mean, they developed a great product. And if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't even be sharing it with you right now, but I do. So anyway, how would we rate both of these? Well, first of all, the PCP rifle, you got to realize that's a $275 to $300 PCP rifle. And it has the performance of one that's 3 times the cost of that. It really does. I would have to give the rifle, without a doubt, a full 5 stars. The rifle gets 5 stars. The scope, you guys know what I'm going to rate this thing. This thing is absolutely incredible. What a combination, too, if you think about it. The scope is 5 stars all the way. I'm going to leave you guys a link for this as well, and the coupon code and the whole bit, so you guys will have all that. Anyway, this was a really enjoyable review. I always love it when you just get stuff that just performs really well and you're not struggling with it. And man, both of these items were just fantastic. I really had a good time with this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget, this is to where we take the mystery out of the air gun. Until next time, I hope you and your family are doing well and you're getting plenty of shooting in. So take care and God bless.